Bill, another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
Starting to pick up.
Yep. Well, that'll be great on live, on a podcast.
Hey, we may lose one of these canopies. There it goes.
Oh, boy.
I knew that was going to happen.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Yeah, you're live, Irma. Welcome. What's up, Irma? How you doing? We got you. Hey, we're tapped into your computer there too, where you work. We can actually see you on video. I hacked your computer. So beautiful earrings today, Irma. You're always beautiful. Very nice.
You're so silly.
All right, friend. I had to clear my throat this morning. Pablo, my bad. Sometimes you come on the show and you think you're ready to go and you got all your, what do they say, your I's dotted, your T's crossed. Is that right? Is that what people used to say? Dot your I's, cross your T's? Something like that?
Sounds about right.
I cross my sevens. Whenever I write a 7, I put a little dash in. You know what
You got to do those in the Z's.
You ever do that?
Yeah.
And like the 0, do you put the slash through the 0 or not?
Only if it's like a password.
Only if it's a password. Well, I had a banker one time back in the day. I think this was way before Bridget, so I'm allowed to say this. I think it was like she was interested. She wanted to go on a date with me, right? And who am I to go on a date with? I'm like, I'm nobody. But this young lady wanted to go on a date, and I was kind of seeing someone else. This was years ago. Bridget, this was years ago, sweetheart. And but I'd respectfully declined. And she was my teller. Well, after that, man, she was like angry at the world at me. Every time I came through, it was this bitterness of like, here's this guy who turned me down. And I was like, well, I was with somebody. I'm not going to do that. And so she got so upset with me that she started criticizing how I wrote my account number on the deposit slips. And she straight up, I wish you would write these with more clarity and quit using those little dashes in the 7s because it throws me off. Needless to say, a couple of months later, that young lady was no longer working at the bank. So anyways, that's our show today. That's all we want to do. We wanted to lift you up this morning to encourage you, and that's how we started. So, Pablo, good to see you. No, I'm just kidding, man. We are here Thursday. What's the countdown to Christmas? Where are we at?
4 days?
We're on 4 days, I think.
Is it 4 days?
4 days already. Yeah. Is that right? I can't do math that quick. 21, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, I guess if you go through the day, and then 25 is Christmas, Monday.
My math isn't mathing so great today.
It's not mathing. See, we make up verbs here on Good Morning Huntsville as well. Well, Huntsville, we want to welcome you in. As always, it's our joy and privilege to bring you this show each and every weekday from around 7 to 8. And starting in January, just want you to start marking your calendars. The show is going to, I don't know if the correct terminology is like move up or move down. Like we're going to move to 7:30. So do you call that move up or is it move back? I think it's move back.
Yeah, it would be considered moved back.
Yeah, so we're going to move it back 30 minutes. Bridget has accepted a position at a great place, Bay's Achievement Center here in town. She's got to be at work at 6 a.m., so that puts me on daddy duty. And I'm on, you're always on dad duty, but now I'll be getting up a lot earlier, getting the children ready and taking them. And so just the logistics of daycare and children, we're going to have to start at 7:30. But all of our foundation sponsors have been really happy with that. Everyone's on salary, so they said we don't mind at all because we this is like that 7 to 8's a little bit tougher. So 7:30 to 8:30 starting in January. Friends, if you're out there this morning, we already know a lot of folks are already commenting, letting us know that they're there today. Let us know how you're doing this morning as we're waking up on a Thursday, what you're thankful for. We always like to bring a little inspiration and gratitude to everyone, and so let us know what you're thankful for as you're waking up here on a Thursday. Our show is brought to you, as always, by our good friend Paul Oley of the Gallery, able to utilize space here thanks to him. And a big special shout-out to Elliot Herzlich of Elliot's Jewelers. He is our studio sponsor. You can find out more information online at elliotsjewelers.com. Appreciate the generous support of Elliot and all that he does in our community. And, of course, on a Thursday, another organization that gives back so much here in Huntsville, our great friends at the Color Bar, Justin Killingsworth. He's with me the first Thursday of every month, and then we get to meet the rest of the crew. And here's Pablo Perez, man. Hey, did they ever call you Double P back in the day?
Yeah.
Was there like any other, you know how it is here, because we're also on Spirit Radio, a lot of folks joining us. So any other like family-friendly Pablo nicknames? Because I've got some unfamily-friendly nicknames. We all have those.
Yeah. If you have an ex, you have an unfriendly.
We were joking yesterday. Somebody had said X, and I said, "Well, why is it the letter X?" And he was like, "Yeah, it just wasn't going well at all." Well, I said, "Well, she's not even X. She's like a double Z, man. That's not even at the end of the alphabet." But any other ones, Pablo, besides double P?
Pabs.
Pabs. All right, I like that one.
Yeah, I get called that a lot. Paul. I'll get pretty much that. Family friendly. That's about it. It's about as PC as it gets.
two and done as we could go here. Well, Pablo is at the Color Bar, one of the great stylists there. We've enjoyed, Pablo, just getting to know you over the last 3 or 4 months. Or so. I think it's, your third time being here with us?
I think so, yeah.
So I know that things are going great. You're getting ready for the holiday season, but you know what? People are still out there getting their hair done. And I always say that, and Justin has taught me a lot about this, that the way that someone's hair is styled, I mean, it really is a confidence booster. I need to go get a haircut and take a shave, and I know that whenever that happens, you just feel like a new person. Maybe this morning kind of highlight the joy that it brings you to see people come in, and you're able to transform them and help them walk out feeling better.
Well, I feel like the two emphasis that people spot first whenever they see anybody is always their hair or their shoes. And I don't know why it's like that, but it's growing up, I've noticed that. It's like, oh, what are you wearing? Or, hey, I like that do going on, And anytime you get close to milestones, whether it's birthdays or anniversaries or holidays or celebrations, you always kind of want to look your best.
Yeah.
And that is a confidence booster because you're already beautiful. We just kind of accentuate certain parts that make it even more beautiful, give you that confidence to have. And then it's real easy because people that come in already have that, and so we just make it boom.
Yeah. Pablo, I love that, man. I love what you just said, that people are already beautiful. And, maybe that's the inspiration. I always love what we do here on the show because we have a chance to maybe provide a word of encouragement. And I'll be honest, I come in, I drive in, and in my mind, I'm thinking, what can the encouragement be today? And it really doesn't happen until we start interacting with our guests. And you just said, everyone's beautiful. And I think that's maybe a message today. Maybe somebody's waking up today and they don't feel beautiful. They feel like things in their past may have defined who they are, or maybe they've done something that they feel like they can never be forgiven from. And I want to encourage you this morning that life in itself is a beautiful thing. Don't take that for granted. And I think of a young man that I know that has MS, graduated from Sam Houston State University. His name is Broderick Nixon. He won't mind me saying this because he's public about it. But Broderick has taken it upon himself to say, you know what, that I know the circumstance that I'm in, and somebody may look and say, like, this young man has a lot going on in a negative way. And Broderick said, I got a lot going on in a positive way. He has overcame so much adversity. He has his own organization called Dreams to Actuality, and he goes out and speaks to people. I think he spoke to some folks at U.S. Bank a while back. He posted about it, just about his journey and how he's not letting that he struggled with. Obviously, since he was a child, he's confined to a wheelchair, but he said, you know what, I'm not going to allow that to make me not beautiful. I'm going to be the beautiful person that I was created to be, and he's out there making an impact. So, Pablo, you just brought the inspiration this morning. Didn't even know it was coming, man. So
there you go.
Well, we do have a great show lined up today. Obviously, Pablo here with us. He's going to be with us here on this first segment for just a little bit longer. And we've got some great information coming your way today. Maybe some of the business owners that are watching. Professor Kyle Scott from Sam Houston State University and the Entrepreneurship program there is going to be chatting with us about his journey and how he got to Huntsville, and let us know more about that program and how you as a business owner can be involved, and most importantly, the impact that's being made on young people. They're the next generation, Pablo, and I'll say this, man, and maybe this is some more encouragement this morning. How many times have you been around people that say, oh, I'm worried about the next generation? Have you ever been around that and, or overheard it when you're out eating somewhere?
Oh, yeah. I heard it all the time growing up, It's just kind of like, ugh. Are you the ones that we're handing the torch to? It's like, yeah.
You go back and you think about, I'm sure that every single generation has said it about every generation. Oh, I'm worried about the next generation. I choose to say, I'm not worried, because we have tools and resources that we can provide and that we are providing the next generation. And I'm a big believer that, every day, what is the outlook and the attitude that you have on life?
That's true. I mean, right now, everything is so readily available. I mean, back in my day, ignorance used to be bliss. Now, ignorance is a choice, right? Because you literally, can ask your phone something and it'll tell you instantly. So if you don't know and you refuse to know, maybe you shouldn't be looking inside.
Yeah, and I even look. We had the privilege, and I've talked about it this week on the show. We had the privilege to go over and tour the WIN unit, the WALS unit, our Texas Department of Criminal Justice System on Tuesday. And being here in Huntsville now for several years, but despite the brief year or 8 months that we had left up to Fargo and we came back, but I mean we feel like we're still here in the community, obviously. But we went over there, Pablo, and I started thinking, it's nothing like you see on TV. And what was amazing, these guys have been in there for some of them for some pretty bad stuff. Other ones, it's I was out trying to make money on the street. I've got friends that have been through that situation. I think it's so important that we have an attitude of grace and compassion. There may be some terrible crimes that you're never going to be able to get over. I mean, if somebody took someone else's life, that's a huge tragedy. But some of these guys are in there doing time 2 to 10 years for what I would consider inside of that world a minor thing. You're out on the street, you're trying to make money. That was the only world that you knew. But I get in there and I think it's going to be all these guys behind bars all the time. And that's not the case at all. It's a mini city in behind the walls. And literally, they have an automotive shop. These guys are getting ASE certified through the programs that TDCJ is doing. And I've always had an attitude of respect for the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. I hear around town sometimes from some folks and chatter and saying, well, it's just TDCJ does this. And I say, you know what they're doing? They're making an impact, trying to change people's lives for the better. And whenever you started mentioning some of those things earlier, I just started immediately thinking about the Texas prison system and these guys that are incarcerated, and they're trying to make a better life for themselves despite their past. And some of them have a terrible past. They have this peddler shop to where they make all sorts of stuff that actually is sold to the public. I didn't know this. Like custom leather. You would love some of this stuff. I should have brought. They were all trying to hawk their flyers at us because they were wanting us to buy their stuff when we went through this peddler shop. But there was a guy in there. I don't ask him, what they're in there for. But this guy was like, I'm in here for life, and I'm never getting out. But he's an amazing woodworker. And so he does, he makes the most beautiful, he made a wine cabinet for a guy. He's done stuff for pretty high-profile politicians throughout our area and quite literally the United States. Built pool tables. I mean, how do you build a pool table when you're in prison? Well, he did it, man. And people are paying some big bucks for this. He gets to keep that money, not for himself, but he gets to send it back to his family.
Yeah.
So everybody deserves a second chance, despite the circumstance, despite the past. I think that folks, everyone really does deserve a second chance, Pablo.
Oh, definitely. I mean, how many times have you messed up as a kid and just been like, give me one more chance, you know?
Or give me 20 more chances, you know? So, well, Pablo, I know I asked you earlier, and we're going to have our good friend Kyle on with us here in just a few moments. But I know I asked you earlier, kind of we're leading up to the holiday season. I know you're going to be hanging out around here. What does this time of the year look like in the hair care industry? Does it stay consistent? Does it slow down a lot? What's that like for you as a stylist?
It's pretty busy, and it stays pretty consistent. Fortunately, you know, we get real lucky around this time because people want to look their best, and they want that added boost of confidence. So naturally, we're there for them first and foremost. So I'm grateful, you know, always grateful. So anytime somebody comes in and they're like, I know I didn't have an appointment, but I really need to be seen. We'll see you. One of us will see you, you know, and that's the main important thing is just, you know, don't freak out. You know, give us a call. Come in. You know, we got you. We'll find a way.
Maybe somebody's watching this show this morning and they're saying, you know, I'm looking for a new place to go. And the Color Bar does an excellent job. Justin's so active in the community as well. Location here in Huntsville, obviously the location in Conroe, serving MRC Creekside and the residents there. And I think he just got tied into a new retirement facility down in the Conroe area. But maybe somebody's watching Pablo and say, you know what, I like this Pablo guy. I like his vibe he's putting out. I want to go see that guy, have him style my hair. How can folks maybe get in touch directly with you? How does that process work?
They can call the Color Bar, or they can contact us through our website, and they can also book online that way. On my Instagram, it's just pablo.colorbarhtx.
Awesome. Okay. Well, cool, man. Well, I'll put the link up there. It's Color Bar. Color Bar TX. I always want to say ATX because I grew up in the Austin area and you always see the ATX everywhere.
Yeah, and I feel like we used to have it HTX, but I think that now that we're opening up multiple locations, it's just better to be TX.
Yeah, so you can just go to the website, colorbartx.com. Again, colorbartx.com. And when they go there, can they select the stylist? I'm assuming. So your name is in there. They can go
Absolutely.
Double P, Pablo Perez, bam.
Yeah, they can choose through all of it, and we have our pictures up and our little short bios, so they can kind of, look and see what certain stylists have to offer, and let them make the choice. You know,
Perfect.
Any choice they make will be a good one.
Yeah, it's all great stylists over at the Color Bar. Pablo is a good man. You see him here on our show at least once a month, and go by and see him. Pablo, before we let you go, yesterday was only a national day of like 2 things, and it wasn't even things that were like super, we're going to mention this. But today, we're looking around here, 8, well, I lied to you. There's 11 things today, at least according to National Day Count. It's the National Day of. It's National Flashlight Day. See, what happens is like Energizer and these battery companies, they probably come up with these days, by the way.
So I heard a urban legend. I don't know, maybe you can help us out. But I heard that Duracell and Energizer are both owned by the same company, and they sort of pit each other against each other on purpose because either way they win, right? So it doesn't, whether you choose Duracell or you choose Energizer, the same parent company gets that. So it's like they kind of duped one over on us, but I don't know if that's true. But it's pretty ingenious if it is.
It probably is. You know, somebody was telling me the other day, like if you trace back all these Kyle, you know, has got some back end knowledge. Maybe he can toss our way when we have him on here in a little bit, but. You know, someone was telling me, is like if you take all the companies and all these major companies in the world and eventually they all like siphon up to like 10.
I believe it.
You know, but a lot of them are doing good work on their own. So I was sharing the story back in the day. It was always funny. Jeff Bezos' family has a ranch in Uvalde, Texas. Of course, Jeff is the founder of Amazon. And my aunt knows their family because they all grew up in that area as children. And so, and Jeff is no longer, you know, living up in the Seattle area, but he had moved. This was prior to him moving recently. My aunt, let me back up. My aunt, this was probably like 10 years ago. So Jeff Bezos's mother and father, someone in their family, had invited my aunt and my uncle and my cousin to eat with them because they were all up in Seattle. My cousin used to work at Microsoft and was living up in Bellevue. And he worked for Microsoft there in Redmond. And so Jeff Bezos' parents were in town. They knew that my aunt was in town, so they all invited him out to eat. now my family, no, nothing negative at all. Happy with everything that we've done. My family, most of them were teachers. Teacher salary, you're not making millions of dollars or billions in the case of Jeff Bezos, right? But there was still need. They never judged. It was always just this great connection. And my aunt was telling me one time, she goes, we were up there eating with Jeff's mom and dad, and they said he's doing pretty good. He's still running his website. I don't think at the time she understood the full grasp of what Amazon was. But I'll never forget. He's doing pretty good with his website. They were telling us. I was like, yeah, he's doing really good now.
I'm not sure, but I'm willing to bet that he's still doing okay on that website.
Yeah, I think he's doing just fine. And we saw some weird. I guess Amazon has their own branded delivery trucks now, and they're probably electric because I didn't see any exhaust pipes. And I saw it on 45 yesterday. Bridget and I were coming back from the Woodlands there, and I see these 2 Amazon delivery trucks, and I was like, what are these things? Because it didn't look like any other vehicle that was out there. The lighting, the branding. And as it drove by, Bridget goes, you know what, you're right. This isn't like a Chevy or a Ford or any. She goes, the steering wheel even had the Amazon logo. So I haven't researched it more, but apparently now they're rolling out their own EV delivery trucks too, which is kind of cool.
They have their own drone delivery service too.
Yeah, we need that here in Huntsville. Can we make that happen?
I think we got too many trees for that.
Yeah, and you got to be close to the distribution center, I would imagine.
I know. They would have to drop my package off in the middle of the street. I have nothing but trees.
It'll get caught up in the tree. Well, that's it. We won't go over all the rest of them, but National Flashlight today, all right? So make sure to get your flashlight ready, Pablo.
I'm going to be playing Parliament.
You need it, too. If you live here in Huntsville, especially out of Elkins, every time there's rain in the forecast this weekend, if you don't have a generator, your power goes out every single time there's one drop of rain. So I'm going to make sure to get my flashlight, man.
We're going to have to.
All right, well, friends, go by and see him. It's our good friend Pablo Perez. He is over at the Color Bar, and you can find out more information and book him online at colorbartx.com. Again, Pablo here. We appreciate you. I know that you said you got a lot on your plate today, and you got a busy day ahead. So we'll cut you loose, man. How about that?
Okay.
All right, Pablo. Good to have you, man. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you.
Thank you for. Hey, hold on, real quick before you go. What are the buttons you have on today?
Probably not family friendly.
That's all right. Well, they're cool buttons. I like them. They're all right, Pablo. I always have to put you on the spot.
I know.
Don't worry, we didn't zoom in all the way on them.
There you go.
All right, go by and see him. It's my good friend Pablo Perez over at the Color Bar. He'll take great care of you. Friends, we will step aside, take a break. I want to remind you, I feel generous today. I'm going to give away some more money, man.
There you go.
See, you can step out now that you're on the show. You can text to win, Pablo. $20 coming your way, and all you have to do is text in the keyword JOY on the Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line at 936-339-0139. Again, that keyword is JOY along with your name. Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line, making that happen, 936-339-0139. I'm going to up the ante just because I'm feeling generous. Instead of $20, I'm going to go 25 today, Pablo.
Birdie will probably win.
Extra $5 in your pocket. I always joke around. I say that will get you half a Big Mac in California. So if you're heading to the West Coast for the holidays, take that $25, enjoy half a Big Mac.
That
all right?
might get you one Whopper in England.
It might. Well, we'll step aside, take a break. On the other side, our good friend joining us here from Sam Houston State University, as we will welcome in Professor Kyle Scott. Before that, though, we'll have your national news and a word from our sponsors, who has always helped to make this show possible. This is Good Morning Huntsville, brought to you by our great friends on a Thursday by the Color Bar. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
USA News, I'm Tim Berg. The Senate is continuing to try to work out a compromise on funding for foreign allies and the southern border. Republicans in both chambers of Congress say they won't vote for aid to countries like Ukraine until stricter border policies are put in place. Tennessee Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn spoke about the deadlock on Fox Business.
The impasse is that the administration does not want to secure the border. They want to put money into refugee resettlement, but they don't want to secure the border.
A huge storm is threatening holiday travel as strong winds and heavy rain are continuing to hammer the East Coast. Forecasters say flash flooding is likely from the mid-Atlantic to New England. Hazardous driving conditions are expected throughout the region today into Tuesday. An investigation is continuing in Delaware after a car rammed into President Biden's security detail late Sunday night. Biden was walking to a waiting SUV from his campaign office when a car hit the Secret Service vehicle being used to close off intersections. The car was surrounded by police following the accident. President Biden and the First Lady were unharmed. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is continuing to meet with Israeli leaders, hoping to get an update on the war in Gaza. The visit comes as President Biden has criticized Israel over mounting civilian casualties. Israel is trying to destroy the Palestinian militant group Hamas. There have been hints that Israel could move to a lower intensity strategy in the new year, and if that's the case, Austin's looking to hear the details. And Week 15 of the NFL season wraps up tonight with the Seattle Seahawks hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Kickoff set for just after 8:15 p.m. You can catch that game on ESPN. This is USA News.
I'd like to introduce you to our new sponsor, Get the Tea. Get the Tea carries all-natural, non-GMO organic teas and supplements made in the USA. Get the Tea's ingredients are the purest available. My favorite is Life Change Tea. Life Change Tea is a gentle daily cleanse containing 12 herbs that, when combined, really keep things moving. I drink it every day, and my energy has never been better. I'm feeling great. Life Change Tea comes in 3 delicious flavors: natural, peppermint, and pomegranate. It's an easy and delicious way to keep your digestion on track. And for those on the go, try D365. D365 is Life Change Tea in a capsule. Drink the tea or take D365 capsules and keep your digestion running smoothly. Go to getthetea.com and enter discount code USA to get 10% off any size order. That's getthetea.com, discount code USA for 10% off your order.
There's a place in Huntsville and now in Conroe where you're more than a customer, you're part of the family. A place where style meets comfort and every visit feels like a treat. Welcome to the Color Bar Hair Salon. From the moment you walk in, our friendly stylists work to create a look that's perfect for you. Whether it's a fresh cut, a vibrant new color, or a blowout for that special occasion, at the Color Bar, we've got you covered. We pride ourselves on creating an environment where our guests can relax, enjoy a beverage, and let us do the pampering. We use top-notch products like Kevin Murphy and even offer hair extensions for those looking to add a little extra flair. And when it's got to be perfect, we ensure you leave looking and feeling your best self. But don't just take our word for it. Book a reservation or buy a gift card online and experience it firsthand. Visit us online at colorbartx.com and discover why at the Color Bar Hair Salon you get an experience that goes beyond. The Color Bar, where you belong. See you soon.
When you live and work in the town where you were born and raised, lots of people become just like family. I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Over the years, we've shared a lot of good times and some tough times, and I'm honored to be the one you call on in your time of need. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, our goal is to help our neighbors in need and always provide the most outstanding service available, even on those really tough days. I thank you for your trust in us. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we're here for you.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Hey friends, Rob Hip here. As a guy, jewelry's not really my thing. I never know what I'm looking for. I feel uncomfortable, and I just don't understand how certain things look good together. But that's why I depend on Elliot Herzlich at Elliot's Jewelers. Whenever Bridget and I wanted to get engaged, we said, we need to go to a place to where someone's going to take care of us. They're going to make me feel comfortable as a guy, but they're also going to take care of her needs as well. So I went into Elliot's, and he was so gracious and compassionate with my understanding, and I wanted something that looked a little masculine masculine for my engagement band. And he said, I've got the perfect thing for you. And he found some white hammered gold that was trimmed in 14 karat gold. Also put a diamond on that ring to signify my love for Bridget. And as we grow and our family grows, we can put a diamond around the rest of those. So friends, if you're looking for someone that is dedicated to customer service, that understands the needs of people and does what's right all the time, there's nobody better than my friend. It's Elliot Herzlich at Elliot's Jewelers. Visit him online at elliotsjewelers.com.
Have you heard of Google, Amazon, or Wikipedia? Their founders were all Montessori students. Montessori is the only educational method developed by a doctor using the scientific method for what was best for the child. Come check out our award-winning childcare schools at Tomorrow's Promise. Did you know that 90% of brain development happens the first 5 years of life? Early childhood education is the most important time of life. Come find out what makes us different and why we are now adding a third location. Visit tpms.life for more information. Education you can trust.
Ho, ho, ho! This is Catherine James wishing a very Merry Christmas to all of the court-appointed special advocates in Walker, San Jacinto, and Trinity counties. Thank you for all you do. We love and appreciate you. Happy holidays.
Email your greeting to victory@spiritradio.fm.
Welcome back out at Huntsville as we continue on. Time now 7:37 in the morning as we are celebrating all things good happening here. Great to have Pablo Perez from the Color Bar joining us a little bit earlier, talking about his journey. If you're waking up today, 56, a few clouds out there. High today going to be in the mid-60s, partly cloudy, but then that rain comes into the forecast, and it will be here tonight all the way through Sunday night. So get ready, have the umbrellas ready. But you know what? We're not going to let that rain out because Christmas Day, mostly sunny and highs in the low 60s. Unfortunately, it will not be a white Christmas. And that's okay because we wanted it to be nice. Speaking of nice, we got a very nice gentleman joining us here today, a good friend, Professor Kyle Scott in the house. And we appreciate him being here from the Sam Houston State University Entrepreneur Program. Good to have you, Kyle.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Well, Professor, you and I got to chat a little bit. I forget how we connected. I think maybe I saw something online. I don't remember.
So as we have what's called a CEO club, right? So sort of future entrepreneurs who don't necessarily have to be majors. And Lee Barron.
That's right. There you go.
So Sam had come in to guest speak at one of my classes, and he allowed the CEO club to go use his space for one of their meetings. And I believe you had covered that, and Sam had connected us.
That's right. Yeah, he had reached out and said, hey, I want to connect you to Kyle. And, yeah, that's how the journey. See, I'm going to Learning RX. Good friend of mine, Lisa Branch, has that because of these memory problems, man. So, well, Kyle, it's great to have you, Professor, joining us today, doing some great things at the university. We're going to highlight that in a moment. I always love to lift up, especially our young people here. Throughout Huntsville, and as Pablo and I talk, the next generation is going to be great. I think it's just the way we look at it, and so many great resources that you guys are providing. But before we dig into all that, maybe let us know a little bit about your journey. I know a family man, 2 children. Let us know. I always joke around and say everything but your Social Security number. But give us the rundown.
No, I have a beautiful, supportive, strong wife, equally beautiful, strong, super intelligent 15-year-old daughter, and then I have an 18-year-old son. Jury's still out on that kid. As a UT undergrad, he decided to go to OU. I think that was his last act of rebellion against his mother and I. But no, we've lived in the Houston area for the past 15 years. I actually started my life as a high school teacher. I realized really quick I was not tough enough for 8th grade girls, so I went back to school, received my PhD in political science. Followed that journey for a little bit, and then one thing led to another. As I'm sure you've said and other people have said, once you think you have your life figured out, God sort of opens another door for you. So we moved back to Houston, where my wife and I are both from, and that's where the entrepreneurial journey began. You know, this was 2008, and I believe when we moved back from Florida, the headline of USA Today was Lehman's brother goes out of business, market crashes, right? So it wasn't a great time to be looking for a job. So I decided to start a job, right? Find my own way in the world. And I'd done some stuff during college, wholesaling cars. So I was able to buy cars that weren't popular in Austin, transport them down to Houston and sell them here. cars that had bigger market in Houston, and then I would buy 4x4s in Houston with that money and take them back up to Austin where they would buy more.
Yeah.
Because this was pre-internet, so there was still an information asymmetry between the two markets, so you could just leverage that, right? But my background as a political scientist is I would actually be able to predict a judicial decision. So I applied this to patent cases, because if you know if a company is going to win or lose a patent case, you can trade around that. But those moves are usually small, so you have to be extremely well capitalized to take out large positions. So I wasn't able to have that capital myself, but there are companies that do. So that was my first exit. Was I had this algorithm that they wanted to buy, and I went and I helped them set up their part of their administrative algo shop.
That's awesome. So a cool journey, just kind of, navigating through that. And I think that's so neat. I wanted to mention this, not just because you're here, well, primarily because you're here, because I got a lot of respect for folks that are in your position, especially what you're doing at the university. The person that had one of the biggest impacts on my life, and I still talk to her to this day, is my marketing teacher from high school. Her name's Diane Weddick. I think the world of her. Had an opportunity. She was an entrepreneur teacher in high school. And, she was so good at identifying students, their talents and their characteristics, and helping to cater to that. Now, my story is kind of weird because I can say it now because she's retired. She told me to never repeat it while she was teaching. She pulled me into her office and said, "Rob, I don't want you to go to college." She goes, "Don't tell the teachers that because I'll get fired. Like, that's not what we're supposed to do." But I give her a lot of credit because she helped me at a very young age, and she saw what was best for me. And that's what you're doing with students at Sam Houston State University now, as the assistant professor there, and working along the great staff and the program to help these young people. I know you talked a little bit about the journey leading in, but really what drove you into the position that you're doing now, and you have a passion for it, which is so important.
So I have a very similar story to yours, which was at every step of my life, it felt like at a critical juncture, there was somebody placed in my life, and it was always a teacher. Mm-hmm. I had a high school teacher who, when everyone else had given up on me, had not. It was when I was 27 in my PhD program at U of H that I was brought to Christ by one of my professors.
Awesome.
And then when my wife was undergoing cancer treatment, when I was at Rice, there was a professor who had gone through the same thing with her son, and she really helped us navigate MD Anderson, just what the whole process was going to be like. So that was my initial impetus to want to be a teacher in high school, my high school teacher. And then that journey just followed, right? So for the past 15 years, just sort of starting, selling businesses, still invested in some, and I was able to maintain an adjunct position at the University of Houston in the political science department. So I just been able to make an exit from a previous company, and the timing was just perfect where Bob Milner, who's the director of our entrepreneurship program, was looking to hire a new faculty member. So it's the most popular and the fastest growing, I'm sorry, not the most popular, you judge that by head count, but it's definitely the fastest growing major within the College of Business Administration, so they needed to add another professor. And the timing just worked up perfectly. I said, "Bob, you're going to give me a chance to get back in here?" Absolutely, whatever it takes. So I'm able to take sort of the academic side that I developed as a political scientist, but then this practical experience and be able to marry the two. One of the beautiful things that we're able to do at SAM that I feel quite passionate about is entrepreneurship allows you to build the life you want in the place where you are. You don't have to relocate to Houston or Austin or Dallas, but you can be in Beaumont or Baytown, College Station, Huntsville, New Waverly, it doesn't matter, and you can chart your own course. And given how much fluctuation there is in the business market with either jobs going overseas, companies relocating, what's their tax benefits layout, you need to be able to have a toolkit that you can always generate income for you and your family. And entrepreneurship allows you to do that. And we're in this perfect position where students are hungry for this. It's sort of part of the cultural zeitgeist right now. Think of how many people have side hustles, whether it's DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever it is. So people are taking this entrepreneurial drive, realizing that they have to have a diversified set of income streams in order to sustain whatever may confront them. And we're providing them the hands-on experience through our class, and as we grow this with local business owners, to be able to put these skills to the test while the stakes are relatively low in college, right? Because like we always know, entrepreneurship, there is no textbook for it. Well, textbook publishers disagree with that, but there's no textbook for it,
That's
right?
100% right, yep.
So you have to do it. And we want them to make the avoidable mistakes in class where the stakes are low, rather than once they graduate and the mistakes become expensive. Because a lot of what entrepreneurship, parenting, anything else, you learn by doing. And we've really taken that hands-on approach to this program. And the next step, I think, now in growing it is making sure that we have the right mentors in place, the guest speakers, the internship opportunities, and the support within the community. Because we don't see this as being a program that exists within the ivory tower, within the walls of the university. But this is a way to build relationships with the community, to make sure that the students feel connected to their community, empowered to go out and make a life for themselves, and, more than a life for themselves, become contributing and responsible members of a community. And if you become a business owner, you have a vested interest in seeing the place where you are thrive. Because at the end of the day, it's not about seeing how big of a piece of the pie you can get for yourself. It's about how much you can grow that pie. And that's what an entrepreneurial ecosystem is all about.
I love that. Again, Professor Kyle Scott joining us here this morning from Sam Houston State University in the Entrepreneurship program, where he's an associate professor. Bring a lot of knowledge with buying and selling businesses. And that's something that's so great, because not only talking the talk, but you've walked the walk. And I think it's so important that as young people especially go on in their journey of life, that it's important to have somebody who's been there and done that, to really share those real world life experiences. You hit the nail on the head whenever you said it's in college you can make those mistakes and it's not, the implications aren't as huge. With me, I slipped one time with the IRS by accident, and I learned real quick about how much they charge in penalty and interest whenever you forget to send in a payroll deposit. We had 13 guys working for us, and I wondered, I was like, why do we have this much in the bank? It wasn't our money, it was the IRS's. We forgot to send it to them. So all of a sudden, that amount doubled. You learn those mistakes, and it was a very expensive mistake that we learned. But this is a great opportunity for young people to grow, to develop their skills, and to learn, the success of business and what it takes to be successful. It astonished me when I was talking to Ms. Wedig's kids, and I say kids sometimes. Kay Boning, she's with us from Tomorrow's Promise. She corrects me because kid is actually the offspring of a goat. Children is the correct term. But some of them are kids. Their parents are goats, so it's all right. Greatest of all time. But, when I look at this and what Ms. Wedig taught me and speaking to these students, what stood out as I got older and I went and spoke to her classes, professor, is that I would ask, one of the things I'd ask the students is, what is your definition? I would bring in a note card and I'd ask them to write down their definition of success, just an exercise. And I never once had one of them say to make a lot of money. It was to be able to support my family, to better myself for my children, to do what I love. Maybe you've experienced some of those same things whenever you've talked to these young people.
Yeah, that's one of the unfortunate things I think about college when it comes at the point in time it does, because we're asking 18-year-olds to decide what they want to do with the rest of their life. Like, I'm 46. I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my life, right? So, what we try to do is exactly what you're saying, which is education on the whole is helping students understand who they are and what their place in the world is. And at 18 through 22, even for non-traditional students who've left the military or parents who are now coming back once their kids are older, everybody's still trying to figure out who they are and where they fit. And, so when you're in the classroom, it's not about just teaching them the skills, checking the box and moving them on, but getting them to understand how this impacts their life and how this fits their natural inclinations and where they're going to go. And you're right that you have to have a certain level of income to feel safe in order to do the things that you want. And the students understand this. Now, some want to be billionaires and they want to fight in some economic weight class that I have no desire or probably will never get to. But most of them, they just want to be able to have a family. They want to be able to go on a couple of vacations. They don't want to have to worry about a car payment or their home payment. They want to know those things are taken care of. But for the most part, they want a life and a career that makes them feel fulfilled, that they're going to enjoy, that gives them a sense of purpose and meaning. And that's the beauty about entrepreneurship is you get to decide what your job is. And if you don't like this space or if it's not working out, well, then it's really only yourself to blame because you've been able to choose your path. And we try to equip them not only just, what's your managerial accounting, what are your finance skills, what are your marketing skills, but how do you identify your talents, your natural inclinations, and match those up with particular opportunities? You know what? Being a business owner may not be for everybody. There's a certain level of risk that's entailed. Mm-hmm. But an entrepreneur is about identifying problems and solving those problems. You can do that in a big company, you can do that in a small company, or you can do that as self-employed. So it's teaching them how to be agile in their thought process and to act like an owner, no matter what position they're actually in.
Professor, it's some good points, for us, and we were blessed with the opportunity. And again, just kind of using some real world experiences, we were blessed with an opportunity in broadcasting, for us to be here and call for Sam Houston for several years in the local high school. And then, as our family grew, we needed additional resources. So that's where the entrepreneur bug for me started kicking back in. Like, man, I miss being able to do things that on my own to generate income that won't conflict with the main job. And so, we ended up at North Dakota, loved it up there, great folks. But then when we found out we were having our second child, and I was telling you a little bit about this story before we went on the air, we realized real quick that we were far away from family. And I started thinking, and I say this because I want it to be an inspiration maybe to a parent to encourage their children. But the skills that I was blessed to acquire just by having the IT company and what I learned from Miss Weddick, my high school marketing teacher, which is some of the same things and maybe even at an advanced level that you're teaching students at Sam Houston State, is when we decided that we needed to come back to this area. We were originally going to go to Central Texas, and some things kind of happened to where we came back here sooner. But it was that toolkit that I had in my back pocket of saying, you know what, we can just start something and make it work. And I don't encourage people to leave a job without it, especially us having, one child and another one on the way. But I felt a lot more confident that we would be able to find a way to make something work because of that toolkit, where I wasn't having to depend on, oh man, we got to sit around and wait for the door to open back, in Central Texas or in Huntsville or wherever we were going to go. I told Bridget, I said, I feel confident about this idea for Hello Huntsville. We used to do it in Georgetown, and I said, let's just step out on faith. And that's something else that I'm going to throw in there too, is combined with that toolkit, it was the faith that I had saying, you know what, God's going to open this door and provide. We just have to kind of step into that and see what happens. And, you fast forward 8 months and we've been so blessed to be able to find a way to make it work. Now, are things tough? Yeah, they're tough, but that's part of being an entrepreneur, right? And so I think that's maybe the inspiration this morning for someone out there is, if, you know what, it is risky, like you said, but you have to take that first step forward. And there is this gratification whenever you get up in the morning and saying, you know what, I get to do some things that I want to do today, and that's my purpose. And full disclosure, I'm on staff now at First Baptist here in town as our community outreach minister, but that job still provides the resources for me with my entrepreneurial toolkit to be able to go out and do the things that I enjoy doing, that I feel like God has blessed me to do that for the church and still feel like I have ownership, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does. And, when we talk about risk and entrepreneurship, a lot of the students come in about, they're interested in it. It's a sexy topic in the news, and entrepreneurs are celebrated. And so they want to know more about it, but then they're also a little bit timid. They're, well, how am I going to do this without a job? And I want to tell them, by being a business owner or entrepreneur, you are putting your future in your own hands. If you go work for a large company, you're putting your future in somebody else's hands. And giving them that level of empowerment, even though it's stressful, I think sort of changes their frame of reference, that just because you go work for a large company, that doesn't guarantee job security. That doesn't guarantee future income streams. It works out for some people. But the days of 35 years in the same company, retire with the gold watch, those days are over. The company doesn't feel like it owes you anything, and most people now are changing job 4 or 5 times, right? The best way to get a raise, the research shows, is to keep applying for new jobs and just get a new raise at your new company, right? So it doesn't seem to be an allegiance between the employer and the employee like there had been in the past, maybe in the 50s or 60s, right, when you had these company towns. And just knowing that you can stand on your own feet and deliver value to other people and bring in value for you and your family is a very empowering and I think an inspiring thing for some of these students to realize.
Maybe this morning there's a business owner out there that's watching that's saying, I really want to give back through my business. And most successful, in fact, I'll say all successful companies find a way to give back to wherever they're located or in some form or fashion. Maybe today there's somebody out there saying, I want to impact the next generation. What opportunities lie within the university now that maybe a business owner like Sam over at Lee Barron can say, I want to be able to come in and speak to students or share some of my knowledge, maybe talk about some of those opportunities that folks in the community have.
Yeah, so giving back is a great idea, and it's something that we certainly welcome. But we don't want to take anything for free either. We want to make sure that whatever you bring to our students, we're bringing value to you as well. So if you come in as a guest speaker, that is a great way to give back. Our students love to hear from business owners in the area. So you can contact me and Bob Milner, and we'll find a class where you can come speak to it about whatever it is that you feel is important at that day. But what we also need are internship opportunities or consulting projects. So we're looking to put together teams of students, and maybe there's a project you've been thinking about in the back of your mind that you just don't have the bandwidth to get to. Well, allow us to bring in a team of 4 to 5 students who will be supervised, of course, in this project, and let them deliver a project for you. So whether it's upgrading your social media, whether it's coming up with a new logistics or accounting or maybe an inventory system, we have the students with the skill sets and the professors to advise them to allow you to tackle a project that you may not have been able to do, right? Because we all get busy on our 9 to 5, and then when we're looking at it on Sunday or Saturday, we just don't want to tackle it. Well, let us bring in a group of students to connect with you and to be able to, in 6 weeks, deliver to you a set of recommendations and a project for you.
Professor Kyle, is it okay if I put your email here up on the screen? So I'm going to go ahead and put that here for folks. And if for those of you, we have quite a few listeners this morning on the Spirit Radio FM app as well. You can email Professor Kyle, and his email address is kas216 at shsu.edu. Again, kas216 at shsu.edu. And that is a way that you can reach out, maybe as a business owner today, saying, what Kyle just said is something I'm very interested in, either coming in and speaking or getting involved with intern programs. We just did that here at Hello Huntsville through Mike Yon and the LEAP ambassador. So we're excited. A young lady named Michelle Cardenas is going to be joining us on January the 17th or so. And these are resources right in our community that as business owners, we can embrace and help guide and teach the next generation, give them hands-on experience.
Absolutely. You guys talked about it a little bit in the last segment, and then I want to build on what you said that you and I talked about off the air, which is when you bring in young people, it brings in a different energy than the people who've been in the business for 10, 20 years, because there's a level of optimism and excitement that young people bring in. It can really energize a place. But we do talk about, do we worry about the next generation? And there's more that you can do than just worry about it. You can get involved with the next generation and make an impact on their lives, and I guarantee it, the students have had a greater impact on my life as well. Just that sense of connection, the sense of purpose that I gained from teaching, it will be a rewarding experience no matter how you decide to get involved.
It's awesome. You can find out more information, too. I know that we've talked about a lot this morning here with Professor Kyle. We appreciate him being here. We also have an article up on the website at hellohuntsvilletx.com. I've put that link there on the social media feeds. Also want to welcome in folks today joining us on Twitter. Someone said, it's called X now. I'm probably going to call it Twitter for the next 30 years until it gets ingrained in my brain. But a little bit new this morning as our platform provider now has a connection to the X platform. And so we want to welcome all of you this morning, too, that are watching us on X. We're across LinkedIn, I believe 3 different Facebook platforms, and also on YouTube. So wherever you may be, and also the Spirit Radio FM app. been such a great morning, an inspiring morning for folks out there that really want to help lead the next generation. And, Professor, you're at the forefront of that, and your staff there with the Entrepreneur Program doing an excellent job. And maybe one teaser, what's in the pipeline that you guys are working on? Is there anything kind of in the pipeline that you said, this would be great, this is something we're working towards?
So we brought in a third professor. So it's going to be great to really take on a lot of these. But I think the most exciting thing that we have going on is just building what we've already talked about. These things had been dormant for too long. So our classes right now are already engaged in some of these consulting projects. We're lining up our guest speakers. And it's making sure that we have a solid base when we really do want to build that accelerator or that common makerspace for these students to start their businesses. We have that solid base of support and connection within the community to really make it a success. Because at the end of the day, no matter what sort of ecosystem takes off the ground, it has to be entrepreneur-led. And that's why it's really important for us to engage with the small business owners in our community and make sure that we're building an ecosystem that builds the entire area and not just something that exists within the walls of Sam Houston State University.
One last thought that I had for you, and I'll let you kind of expand on this too. Appreciate Dr. White and her leadership. We've always had great leadership at Sam Houston State University. I didn't get a chance to know President Hoyt at the time too much, but obviously being involved with broadcasting a few years ago, I got to know Dr. White very well. I know that she is doing tremendous things and just really believes in the future of Sam Houston State. And I bring all that up because we're at a university, 22,000 students. I mean, those numbers kind of rival Baylor and Waco. I've heard some statements in the next 10 years, we could be looking at 30,000 students. How exciting is that for you as a professor here to know that students are coming in, they're getting this type of education, but the university's growing? That's got to bring a high level of excitement.
The university's growing. I think that validates the direction that Dr. White and some of the other people are moving the program, which is we recognize that we have to provide students with a valuable degree, something that provides an opportunity for them to find a job and to make a life for themselves after college, right? So we've heard it in politics. We hear it all around that gone are the days of going and just studying basket weaving. Right? That's not enough. And Sam Houston State has really embraced that. And I think that's important and it's validated. This semester, we had our largest incoming freshman class ever.
Wow.
So, COVID sort of changed the higher ed dynamic where we saw some weird enrollment rates across the nation, but kids are getting back in school, which is a very encouraging sign that the students are choosing Sam Houston State University. A lot of them are from this area and choosing to stay here and establish roots here, which is very encouraging.
Well, Professor, we appreciate you for being with us today and for all the great things that you're doing here with our young people. Being involved in the community is so important, and you're doing that. And we want to invite you back on the show maybe, after the new year sometime, a few months down the road. Maybe we can look in the spring and maybe bring in some of the students, and we'll chat with them as well. And
that would be great.
We'll get the 411 on what's going on behind the scenes. Does that sound good?
Yeah, they'll tell you the truth. I'm talking it up. They'll tell you yeah.
Awesome. Well, one final time again, you can email Professor Kyle if you're interested. Maybe you want to get involved, look into an internship program. He can kind of be that gateway and help get that started. His email is kas216@shsu. Professor, thanks so much for being here, man.
Thanks very much. I appreciate it.
We'll step aside. We'll take a break. Do want to remind you, $25. I'm generous. I'm giving away an extra $5 today. All you got to do is text in the keyword JOY along with your name on the Granny Mary's Cajun Asian Cuisine text line at 936-339-0139. As always, our show's on a Thursday, brought to you by our great friends at the Color Bar. They are your neighborhood hair salon. We'll step aside, take a break. More to come as we'll wrap it up. We'll talk about more of what it's the National Day of, and we'll call our winner on the other side. Stay with us. This is your show, Huntsville. It is Good Morning Huntsville.
There's a place in Huntsville and now in Conroe where you're more than a customer, you're part of the family. A place where style meets comfort and every visit feels like a treat. Welcome to the Color Bar Hair Salon. From the moment you walk in, our friendly stylists work to create a look that's perfect for you. Whether it's a fresh cut, a vibrant new color, or a blowout for that special occasion, at the Color Bar, we've got you covered. We pride ourselves on creating an environment where our guests can relax, enjoy a beverage, and let us do the pampering. We use top-notch products like Kevin Kevin Murphy, and even offer hair extensions for those looking to add a little extra flair. And when it's got to be perfect, we ensure you leave looking and feeling your best self. But don't just take our word for it. Book a reservation or buy a gift card online and experience it firsthand. Visit us online at colorbartx.com and discover why, at the Color Bar Hair Salon, you get an experience that goes beyond. The Color Bar, where you belong. See you soon. This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted, family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Here we grow again. Tomorrow's Promise is excited to announce the upcoming addition of our third location to better serve the families of Walker County and surrounding areas. At Tomorrow's Promise, we are more than just childcare. We pride ourselves on partnering with parents and creating a place where every child is respected, loved, and nurtured in the highest quality environment. See what makes us the perfect fit for your child and their needs. Schedule a tour and learn more about Montessori. Contact us today at tpms.life. Third location on Veterans Memorial, coming soon. Education you can trust.
When you live and work in the town where you were born and raised, lots of people become just like family. I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Over the years, we've shared a lot of good times and some tough times, and I'm honored to be the one you call on in your time of need. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, our goal is to help our neighbors in need and always provide the most outstanding service available, even on those really tough days. I thank you for your trust in us. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we're here for you.
Ho, ho, ho!
This is Jensen.
This is Zane. And Caroline.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
This is Leah Lineback with Sweet Caroline's Floral Shop. Our family would love to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Email your holiday greeting at victory@spiritradio.fm.
Welcome back at it, Huntsville. Time now, 8:08 in the a.m. Always a joy and a privilege. I'll switch the camera there. It's just me wrapping it up here with you this morning. Always a joy and a privilege to bring you this show. Friends, we are right around the corner from Christmas, looking at 4 or 5 days, however you want to look at it. And I just want to wish a special Merry Christmas to all of you out there. Hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. Friends, I know that this time of the year can be tough for so many people. And I just want to encourage you this morning, man, if you need somebody to talk to or reach out to us here at Hello Huntsville. We're not just a platform that is here to put on this show or the website, but we really do want to connect with the community. And if you're going through something, just reach out and let us know. And maybe there's some resources that you need. I'll be more than happy to help you. I'm also our community outreach minister at First Baptist Church. I want to encourage you this morning, maybe if you need a place to go, and you need a place to feel hope. I call it the Harbor of Hope. It's just right down the street, and you join us every Sunday at 9:30 for Bible study or the message at 10:45. Our pastor will get you out by noon. I always say that because I know sometimes, especially folks that haven't been to church in a while, they say, man, I don't want to sit there all day. Pastor Bay is going to deliver a great message. You're going to leave. You're going to feel inspired. More importantly, you're going to have the hope that Jesus Christ can bring you. I wanted to share that with you this morning because I really believe somebody out there today needs to hear that. I do want to show you a little clip that we put together, more just a video clip. There's no words to this, but this is a video clip with a little bit more about First Baptist. Just to kind of give you a firsthand look behind the scenes at all of the great things that are going on at the church. And I'm just trying to pop a comment off of here real quick, and then I'll get to that. So take a look at this video and see what we're all about at First Baptist. I think you'll enjoy this. Just a little highlight there, some behind the scenes. And again, we'd love to have you. Feel free to come out 9:30 on Sundays or 10:45 as well for the message. Pastor Bale deliver a great message to you. And again, reach out to me here on Hello Huntsville, and we'd love to help. I do want to let you know we're in the process of, we can say this now because it's public information, we have applied for a low-power FM radio license. And so under the guidance and governorship of our new organization, Spirit Media Incorporated, it is a 501c3 organization. We're looking forward to bringing a Christian format radio station here to Huntsville. It's a nonprofit, non-commercial radio station that'll provide educational tools about what's happening throughout our community. And so we just ask that you keep that. If you're a person that prays, we just ask that you keep that in your prayers. We're really excited for this project, something that's been on my heart actually for several years, even before we had left Huntsville. We were wondering, how could we ever make this happen, as the FCC does not grant an opportunity for licenses very often, especially commercial licenses. They're not going to do that anymore. You have to buy those stations. But we do have an opportunity to reach this community, to those persons that are incarcerated. And friends, we just want that to be a platform of light as we continue to build that here through Hello Huntsville, but now more importantly through this nonprofit and Spirit Media. So we'll have more information as that goes on. We're still in that process. The window for these low power FMs have closed, but we did get our application in. And we should hear back more information, hopefully around the spring. And so just keep that in your prayers, as we're very excited to bring Spirit Radio over the FM airwaves right here in downtown Huntsville. Again, it will be a non-commercial radio station, and it's all about education and promoting the good and aligning with what we do here at Hello Huntsville and promoting the good in our community. Friends, a lot of you are joining in this morning. Before we go here in just a few moments, I want to get to some of those comments. Tara Burnett sending us a message. Tara, I didn't have a chance to call you yesterday. I apologize, but I'm going to get with Tara soon and put up a couple of articles on the website. But she's saying, Merry Christmas. Thank you to all of the amazing volunteers that came out to help at the Christmas lunch yesterday. George, Jared, Clint, Frank, and Kurt did an amazing event for everyone in need. I know the success of that event yesterday is just going to propel, and as we go forward, look for this to be an annual event. I talked to George about that on our show from Humphreys here just a week or so ago, and we're so thankful again for the generous support of Huntsville. That's what this community is all about. Maybe this morning you're watching, you don't live in Huntsville, and you stumbled across this maybe on Twitter, because we're now broadcasting on Twitter as well. But this is a great community here in East Texas. We're all about lifting each other up. And I always say, this is one of the towns in America that you can hug someone and tell them you love them. And that's what Huntsville is all about. Do want to get to some other comments. Jennifer Augustinetti saying, Merry Christmas. We appreciate you. She's saying, thanks for all that you do. Well, Jennifer, thanks for all that you do in support of this program. You've been with us since the beginning, and you mean so much to us. We love you, and we appreciate you very much. Kyle Kreiner joining us earlier today saying, good morning, y'all. Kyle, good to hear from you. Our great friends who also have won a prize on this show recently, Richard and Linda Hodges-Horn, saying good morning. Good morning to you folks as well. We're so thankful to have you with us today. Steph Valley over at Magnolia Kennel. I didn't have a chance to pull this comment up while Kyle was here a while ago, but she was talking about the Sam Houston State University entrepreneur programs and the intern programs. She said that they have conducted 2 different projects with her business, Magnolia Kennel, analyzing the business. You're going to see more about Magnolia Kennel too, as Steph joins us once a month along with some of their nonprofit partners as we talk about their great business, what they're doing in the community. So Steph, always good to hear you. She was also mentioning a comment earlier too that says, talking about a business, when you start, you need to realize that you have to give up something, but it will happen with blind faith. And you're so right. You know, we had a great morning here from Kyle in the entrepreneur program. Maybe that's the catch today. You know, you've been waiting for somebody to put that bug in your ear to take that step forward. It's not going to be easy. It'll be tough, but you'll make it happen and just pursue your passion. Grace Wakefield, good morning to you. Grace. Sally Hosey, good morning. We're so thankful that Robert's surgery went well yesterday and that he is doing wonderful. So please tell Robert that we love him, and we're looking forward to seeing both of you guys very soon as well. Jennifer also had sent in a message saying, good morning. It's Thankful Thursday, and I'm thankful that Jesus was born to save us from our sins. Y'all have a blessed day. Love that, Jennifer. And so thankful for your message. Carolyn Gibson, the grandmother of Huntsville, joining us today, saying good morning, Huntsville. Jennifer Beckley also with the comment, too, saying good morning. We had many others. I could get to all of them due to time, But I do want to say thank you to all of you that engage with this show each and every morning, especially big thanks to the Color Bar, Justin Killingsworth, for their support. Since we started, I mean, literally, we got on the air with this back in March. Here we are in December. And our Foundation 5 sponsors, all of them, have been with us since almost the beginning. So big thank you to everyone who's involved. And please visit our website, like and share this broadcast as well. Let's head over to our Granny Mary's Asian Cuisine text line. I don't know if we've called this number this week. The randomizer picked it, and let's see, $25 coming to somebody today. And that as I'm waiting on the software to launch. Still waiting. Out to connect. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning. Who is this?
This is Denise.
Denise.
Denise Winston.
Oh,
Hi,
Denise,
Rob.
what's going on? You didn't put in your name. I had no idea who it was.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Hey, well, congratulations. You are our lucky winner today. $25 coming back to you. How you doing?
Awesome. Great. Yeah. It was a good show this morning.
Yeah, appreciate it. We were so thankful to have Professor Kyle with us, and I know that kind of ties in a way with you. You're in charge of marketing and do a lot of things, and obviously working with the exchange students. What's going on in your life? What's new? I know we just had you on a while back, but how are things going?
Everything's going good. I just made sure everybody had a present for Christmas, so I think we're ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, great.
Yeah.
Well, I know that we're going to have. Did you schedule other times to hop on the show coming up in 2024?
Yes. Yeah, I did.
Awesome. Well, I think at least once a month we try to get you in here with one of those students. The feedback that I've gotten from that, by the way, has been tremendous. So it's been a lot of fun learning, the other cultures and learning from other young people. So thank you for setting that up with us.
Awesome. That's so good to hear. Yeah, I'm glad that you're allowing us to let some students come on. It's really good for them. When we leave, they've all just raved about how much they.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you, Denise. I'm sure. Do you have Cash App, Venmo, one of those things?
I have Venmo. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Good. That means I don't have to run over to my friends at Walker County Federal and get a crisp 20 and a 5 for you. So, we'll text back that same number that you texted in to win, and text in your Venmo, and I will make sure that $25 gets over to you. How's that?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rob.
You bet. Well, hey, Merry Christmas to you. Have a blessed day, Denise. Good to hear from you.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye.
How awesome is that? Denise Winston, our winner today here. She's been on the show before. I don't think she's ever won, but now she has won, and, it comes full circle here on Hello Huntsville. Friends, I do want to remind you a couple things going on. One thing, especially tonight, if you can, please get out and support local business. Good friend of mine, Sam, with Lee Barron, is having their ribbon cutting tonight. They have done such a beautiful job with their new facility. They used to be over at the mall. Now they have moved closer to town, right next to the area where O'Reilly Auto Parts, Three Spoons Yogurt, that entire shopping facilities over there. And so go by today. I believe, and Am will correct me if I'm wrong, but their ribbon cutting for Lee Barron Fashions is happening tonight at 4 o'clock from 4 to 5. And so if you have a chance, go over there today, support them, as they have been a tremendous blessing to this community for so many years. In fact, Professor Kyle, that's how I got connected, was through Sam over at Lee Barron. So thank you for that connection, Sam. But again, their ribbon cutting happening as they open up. They've opened, but now officially with a chamber ribbon cutting tonight over at Lee Barron Fashion. So make sure you get over there. 4 o'clock is what I'm seeing on my calendar. And Sam, I hope that that's correct. If I'm not correct, go over there anyways. Go by and see him and say hello to him, and let's support local business. Friends, that'll wrap it up here on a Thursday. We'll be back at it tomorrow as our good friend Billy Cawthon from Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home joins us. It'll be a great show as always. We'll continue to give away prizes, and we will wrap up the week celebrating all things good happening here in Huntsville, Texas. I want to thank all of you for being a part of this show today. Welcome in all of the new viewers that are joining us on the X platform and all of you on Spirit Radio FM. I want to wish you a very pleasant, wonderful rest of your afternoon. Enjoy the day. Get out. It's going to be nice before rain moves in to conquer the weekend, so you've got more day to enjoy some beautiful weather. Friends, until then, as I wrap up every single show, I want to remind you this morning that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We truly need each other. Provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. somebody out there needs you. That'll wrap it up here on a Thursday, brought to you by the Color Bar. We'll see you tomorrow. Billy Cawthon, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, is back with us as we close out the week. Have a good afternoon, everyone. God bless you. So long.